Welcome to this Saturday travel and history tip, and this one will be really unique. We went to the Kinzua Bridge State Park to see the Skywalk. This park is part of the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. It is located in the Allegheny National Forest region in northwest Pennsylvania. We went through the small town of Bradford to take the exit. Bradford has a National Historic District, and it is nestled in the Tunagat Valley, surrounded by lush green hills and forest land. It was once a boom town for oil and lumber barons. It is now a hub for trails, outdoor recreation, locally owned restaurants, and shops. We popped over to see the Zippo Case Museum, but they were really strict on the COVID restrictions, so we just stayed outside and took a few pictures of this awesome car that they had parked out front. It's an old Chevrolet, and it's totally decked out. Leaving the main road, we got on a Pennsylvania byway to the Kinzua Bridge State Park. The Kinzua Viaduct originally begun in 1881 for the New York, Lake Erie, and Western Railroad to ship coal, lumber, and oil. It was once the world's highest and longest rail viaduct. Rebuilt in 1900 to carry heavier loads, it was in service until 1959. Kinzua Bridge State Park was created here in 1963. In 2003, an F1 tornado partially destroyed the viaduct. Remaining towers were restored and the Skywalk constructed in 2011. And there is a beautiful Kinzua Bridge State Park Visitor Center and park offices, but because of COVID, it had not reopened when we were there, although the gift shop was open. The Kinzua Skywalk, the reason that most people go there, towers into the Kinzua Gorge 624 feet at a height of 225 feet. Visitors can walk the length of the Skywalk and then peer down below through a partial glass overlook. The Kinzua Skywalk is open from 8 a.m. to dusk, 7 days a week. Admission is free to both the park and the Skywalk. It was a gloomy, cold, rainy day, but we still enjoyed this park very much. As soon as we got out of the car, we headed straight to the Skywalk. Kinzua Skywalk. It is one of the top 10 most beautiful skywalks in the world. This engineering masterpiece is the reinvention of the original Kinzua Viaduct following the tornado of 2003. The Kinzua Viaduct, first constructed in 1882, soared 301 feet high and 2,053 feet across and was the highest and longest railroad bridge in the world. Standing 301 feet tall, 24 feet higher than the Brooklyn Bridge, the viaduct quickly became a tourism destination. Walking out on the bridge was the next best thing to flying. Sightseers from around the globe visited the majestic bridge to experience the thrill of walking the tracks across the sky. In 1900, the viaduct was rebuilt of steel to handle the heavier freight trains carrying coal, lumber, and oil. For generations, visitors and freight crossed the Kinzua Gorge on this national civil engineering landmark. It was absolutely an incredible thing to see. You can see the rail line that goes straight through the middle of the bridge, which is actually the Skywalk, and through the partial glass overlook. Unfortunately, when we were there, it was so drizzly and rainy and foggy that it wasn't very clear, but we could certainly see over the top. How high is the Skywalk? Built on 6 restored towers, the Skywalk is 225 feet above the ground. From the observation deck, you can see the debris field left by the tornado. The park began welcoming visitors onto the 600-foot-long Skywalk during its grand opening on September 15th, 2011. And this sign was at the beginning of the Skywalk Bridge, Commerce to Collapse. It was in 1882 that General Thomas Kane, decorated American Civil War veteran and president of the New York, Lake Erie, and Western Railroad and Company, had rich coal deposits south of the Kinzua Gorge. But since his customers were to the north, Kane needed to cross the valley. Kane needed a bridge. Chief Engineer Octavie Chanute accepted the challenge. He contracted the Pennsylvania firm of Clark, Reeves, and Company to design and fabricate the bridge. Adolphus Bonzano designed a wrought iron bridge using his Phoenix column, an engineering breakthrough that enabled tall structures to resist vibration and buckling. The bridge was prefabricated in Phoenixville, near Philadelphia, and we did meetings in Phoenixville many years ago. Once the sandstone foundation piers were in place, 125 men, working 10-hour days, completed the construction in just 94 days. 3.5 million pounds of iron and $275,000 later, the first steam-powered train rolled across ships delivering General Kane's coal to market. Kinzu is the Seneca word for fish on a spear. As the tallest and longest bridge of its time, the Kinzua Viaduct embodied the spirit of the Industrial Revolution. Cargo and sightseers rumbled across the viaduct for 120 years until a F1 tornado toppled the viaduct in 2003. Today, a skywalk and observation deck mark the next stage in Kinzua Bridge's State Park's history. A DCNR inspection in 2002 deemed the viaduct unsafe, and it was closed to all traffic. Restoration work was well underway when, on July 21, 2003, severe weather sent the crew scrambling for shelter. Just after 3:15 p.m., an F1 tornado hit Kinzua Bridge State Park. No match for the powerful winds, the viaduct's 120-year-old anchor bolts snapped. In 2 minutes, 11 steel towers lay in a twisted tangle on the valley floor. Today, the DCNR manages this area to allow smaller plants and grasses to thrive while preventing larger shrubs and trees from obscuring the view of the debris field. After walking on the skywalk, we went to the observation platforms and to the Kinzua Creek Trail. The Kinzua Creek Trail is a short 0.4-mile hike to the bottom of the gorge. Even though it's short, it is rated more difficult due to the steepness of the trail, which I can vouch for. Along the way, you can see and identify parts of the bridge up close. You may also get a different perspective of the bridge viewing from below. See the beauty of nature as well while on this trail. There is a great handout there on the bridge, and it's called Spanning the Bridge and Nature on the Kinzua Creek Trail. And it has a stop-by-stop guide that you can use as you hike along the trail. And this one was number 4, the bridge. This is one of the 20 towers of the Kinzua Bridge. Towers are the vertical parts of the bridge holding it up. These towers are made of steel. And then we crossed the creek to get to a big portion of the debris field. It was absolutely amazing to just see this whole bridge just laying there in this debris field. Absolutely amazing to see how it was twisted. To quote a famous character, no, 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 no. Oh no. One of the beautiful things we saw was this little pipe running with water. After scurrying around the protected area of the debris field, we headed back the 0.4 trail. Whatever goes down must come up, and that was a huff-puff trail. I can vouch for that. We popped over to the Knox and Kane Rail Trail, which is located directly across from the skywalk. This is part of a snowmobile trail. And when we left the park, we stopped back through Bradford, where we saw the sign, Bradford Oil Refinery. One of the oldest refineries in continuous production in the U.S. was founded near here in 1881 by pioneer independent oilmen Robert Childs, Eli Loomis, and William Willis. The original refining capacity was 10 barrels a day. 125 years later, the refinery processed over 9,000 barrels daily, purchasing more than 3 million barrels of Pennsylvania-grade crude oil annually, most of it from wells within 125 miles. And here are the headquarters of American Refining Group, Inc. It is the oldest continually operating refinery in the country. The Bradford Refinery has been a cornerstone in the ANF, which is the Allegheny National Forest region, since it was founded in 1881, remaining a crucial economic partner and community steward today. And we took these grand pictures from the interstate because you actually can't get to the refinery. It is off limit to just general traffic. American history. Learn it. Love it. Appreciate it. Don't let them steal our history. Treasure our American history. Please tell others about our YouTube channel. It's simply Steve Groman. We have so many nuggets and Saturday travel and history tips up. Please go back and watch them if you haven't watched previous ones. And if you appreciate these videos and can partner with us on a monthly or one-time basis, we certainly appreciate that. And if you appreciate our content, tell others and repost on your social platforms. help us build our YouTube site. And last week when I talked about the little library, I talked about how if you ordered all 3 of my books, Often on the Beaten Path, the Unclassic Road Trip series, I would send an extra Eastern edition for you to place in a little free library near you or your regular library. I will be continuing that offer through the month of June. Thank you.